Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi rasulillahi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. Pertama-tama marilah kita panjatkan puji dan syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Pada bulan suci Ramadan ini kita masih dapat berkumpul dalam menimba ilmu. Salawat dan salam kita haturkan kepada Nabi besar Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam yang telah membawa kita dari zaman jahiliyah ke zaman penuh ilmu pengetahuan yang serba modern saat ini. Nah, teman-teman mahasiswa, pada kali ini kita akan mempelajari hal-hal yang terkait dengan teknologi dalam penerjemahan or technology in translation. Mata kuliah ini seyogianya 4 SKS, di mana 2 SKS selebihnya adalah praktek dan 2 SKS selebihnya merupakan teori atau pengenalan ya. Oke. Nah, kenapa ilustrasinya saya berikan mobil? Karena seperti kita ketahui kalau tanpa teknologi maka dunia tidak akan berubah. Tanpa teknologi maka segala sesuatu akan serba sulit. Tanpa teknologi maka hidup kita tidak efisien. Nah, ilustrasi mobil ini ibarat semakin berkembangnya waktu, zaman, maka semakin berkembangnya teknologi untuk memudahkan manusia dalam mengerjakan sesuatu. Okay, in this course of technology in translation, the urgency is that we need to know how to use certain application or softwares that can help us translate text efficiently and according to the standards, international standards. And technology in translation could also save our time and make our job easier. Yeah. So if one of you dreams to become a translator, whether in a government institution or in a private institution, this course will be highly beneficial. This course will be highly useful in helping you to become a proficient translator in this era. Okay, let's look at the definition or what is actually technology in translation. What is actually translation technology? Translation technology is related to, the first one is machine translation. Why machine translation? Because nowadays we know that we highly depend on Google Translate. Okay, to translate texts that are difficult for us to manually translate. We use almost on a daily basis, almost every day. Whenever we want to translate phrases or words or sentences, we will surely look up Google Translate to help us translate the text. Okay, so Google Translate is one of machine translation systems. Okay, number 2, we have computer aided translation. Computer aided translation is different from machine translation. It does not translate text, but it helps us to save the already translated phrases or words in a sentence, so that in the future we can use it again. Thus, our time is saved a lot, and our time is much more efficient. Okay, so computer aided translation is shortened as CAT. Okay, the third one, another technology that is mostly used in translation is subtitling software. So there are many softwares that can be used to translate film, scripts, movies, etc. And it is quite important for us as a English education student to know how actually subtitle translators work. You should know how we should know the process of it. We should know some idioms, some sentences that are not formal in a movie setting. We can use those expressions in our daily conversation. Okay, so machine translation and CAT is usually used for formal translation, while subtitling is usually used for informal translation, yeah, such as conversation in a daily setting. All right, let's go next. According to Lingo Hub, machine translation is computer-generated translation based on specific algorithm sets. So machine translation is produced by computer, okay, and created by several people who are experts in algorithm. So they use certain codes. They use certain codes to create this sophisticated system online that can be accessed by anyone. Okay, machine translation is usually fast and simple. It is fast and simple. As we all know that Google Translate is very fast and simple to use. Therefore, we are highly dependent on it. In addition to that, MT engines represent a quick and easy, although not always the best solution for translation. So sometimes machine translation does not produce the perfect translation, because the texts are the text varies. The text people upload on Google Translate, for example, is different from day to day. Therefore, it is impossible for machine translation to provide the perfect translation. Therefore, we as human have to play a role in editing it. Yeah, we will come to that part in the next meeting, where we will edit or post-edit machine translated text. Okay, that's about machine translation. Let's go to the next one. Sorry, before we go further to the next point, we should know that machine translation does not only include Google Translate, but It also includes Bing Translate. Okay. It also includes Sederet.com. Sederet.com is an online English Indonesian and vice versa dictionary and other platforms. There are many, but Google Translate is the most used one. Okay, there are several factors. There are several uh, several consideration when it comes to using machine translation. Okay, we should know that the first one, not all content of the text is suitable for machine translation. Not all content is suitable for machine translation. For example, machine translation cannot translate legal text, cannot translate legal text. It can translate legal text, but the quality of it is far from perfect. It is far from perfect. Uh, Also, maybe when it comes to translating tourism text, it is uh, not as good as translating general text or narrative text. That's the first point to consider when we use machine translation. The second one is that machine translation does not work very well with several languages. Okay, the languages that are not as good as other languages, such as Indonesian. Uh, Indonesian text can be easily translated by machine translation, but the languages of Spanish, French, German, and Portuguese, these languages uh, are difficult uh, to translate by Google Translate because maybe uh, the language systems or the linguistic systems of these languages are uh, a bit complicated. Okay, so not all languages can be perfectly translated by machine translation. The third one is that whenever we use machine translation to translate text, we still have to find human professional translators to review the quality of the text. To review the quality of the text. Why is it so? Because sometimes, as mentioned earlier, that not all content of text is suitable for machine translation. Therefore, human intervention is needed in this case to review the text. Yeah. That's the point of the third consideration. Okay, that's about machine translation. Let's now go to computer aided translation tool or CAT tool. Computer aided translation is the use of software to assist the human translator in the translation process. So computer aided translation or CAT tool is a software to help human translator in the middle of translation process. Okay, so it does not translate the text directly, but it helps you to specifically save the already translated phrases or words for future use. Computer-aided translation, in this case, the translation is created by human. Yeah, the translation is created by human. It is different from machine translation, where the translation itself is created by machine. And certain aspects of the process are facilitated by software. Yeah, so in a nutshell, computer-aided translation is the software that assists human translator in the middle of translation process. Okay, so human translator still plays the role of translating the text. So he does not rely on computer-aided translation. So CAT tools include STL Traduc Studio, MemoQ, and Omega T. Okay, I think that's all for this meeting. Thank you for your attention and see you again next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.